Shut up and sit down.
That's awesome.
Hey, it's where the big boys play. SICW.
Welcome to Square Ring Podcast, everybody. Episode number 61. We are good to be back. We took a little bit of a break, but before we get into why, we need to hear from Stephen E. on our last show.
Well, before my official announcements, I hate to do this, but Stephen, I have to ask. We all know, we saw the advertisements, the match had been advertised. Your man, Peyton Ayers, was scheduled to receive a title match tonight against the Big Texan. Texan isn't here. I'm told you might know something about this. Do I know
Peyton looking like Tigger in there with those stripes.
I know something about this. Belleville, Illinois. You
He's a T.I. double
make me sick to my stomach. And let me explain to you, Dr. Drew, what I heard. I heard from a little birdie that the Big Texan was scared.
I wonder whose little birdie is.
And put that championship on the line against Peyton Ayers because he knew
His name's
what
Woodstock.
would happen. That's what you people know.
Little Snoopy reference for the older fans out there.
Our bread and butter.
Must be talking about Nate because even I didn't get that reference.
You don't know Woodstock, the little bird? Snoopy's bird?
Shame on you. Peanuts.
You must have been
All
one
right,
of them
Jim.
kids with cable television.
Was
Right.
Stephen E. correct? Were you too scared to give a title shot?
I was. I was shaking in my boots. No, I was not scared. You know, I fought Peyton. See, now you got me saying it. I fought Peyton so many times. No, so, you know, like normal, I was getting my stuff packed, you know, and ready to go. You know, I always pick you up, Nate, you know, so you can go to the fairgrounds a little early, get set up and everything. But had it all packed up, ready. And about 2:30, I leaned over to Amy and I said, you know, I'm not feeling too good. And, you know, I was feeling great all morning. And I got really lightheaded, really dizzy. And got up because I was actually laying down. So I got up, went to the kitchen to get some water. And literally maybe 2-3 sips in, and I just started puking. And it wasn't like your normal sickness or anything like that. There was, you know, how your body can just feel something weird, you know?
You just felt something was off.
You're right. So, yeah, was puking. I ended up puking for a good hour and a half. You know, just basically stayed in the bathroom for the next hour and a half. And told Amy to go ahead and go get Nathan, take him up there. And her thing was to come back. But before we went ahead and tried, you know, I got up, went to the door, got my stuff, walked out. Well, I couldn't, as soon as I opened the door, just the sunlight just hurt. Like I could not look outside. It was so bright. It was just hurting my eyes. And when I tried to walk, I couldn't even walk. I mean, I about fell over a couple times. Luckily, my youngest son was behind me, and Amy was in front of me. So, you know, I just turned around and I about collapsed. So they got me back in the room. Then Amy went ahead and left and got Nate, you know, after I was settled down and laying down. And the object was she was going to go drop you off and come back and pick me up. But literally, as soon as I laid down in the bed, I fell asleep for about probably a good hour and a half. Now, this is all prior to the show starting because, you know, the show starts at 7. And, you know, a couple phone calls, kids checking up on me. And it's like, there's no way I can get up and go do this. Because my body was still just shaking. And I was having the hot sweats cold, you know, you're cold, but you're sweating. And, you know, Amy went ahead and stayed with Nate, did the show. She come back home and like do you want to just go to the hospital? And I was debating. I said, maybe I'll go tomorrow. If I still feel like this, maybe I'll just go tomorrow. Maybe it's just like the 24-hour flu or something, but it wasn't. I ended up taking my blood pressure. I have a home cuff, and it was like 230 over. I think it was 139. Either way, both numbers were extremely high. And I was like, I've never had blood pressure that the top number was in the 200s. So a couple minutes later, check it again, still in the 200s. A couple minutes later, check it again. I'm thinking, let's go to the hospital. And when went to the ER, they checked it. 245 was the top number. I don't remember what the bottom number was, but it was over 100. And it's supposed to be 120 over 80.
So you got the high score.
Right, definitely got the high score. But as soon as they checked it, they was like, no, this is gonna be wrong. So they checked it again, and then another person walked in. I guess she sent it off to someone, and they immediately walked in and said, "Do you want us to manually check it?" She goes, "No, I've checked it a few times. It's the same." So 250 is stroke, and 270 is coma. So they wheeled me to the back, and immediately I was on a table, immediately getting EGK or whatever it's called. Having that done. I ended up having X-rays done on my lungs, and so they were pretty frantic, which of course makes you all frantic. So I was like, I don't, what the fuck's going on? I don't feel like I had a stroke, but I was still lightheaded, dizzy, and everything. And so about 4 days I spent in the hospital, and they were running everything. They had ultrasound done on my heart, ultrasound done on my kidneys. We're waiting for a few tests to come back, so they don't even know why it spiked like that. I do normally run high blood pressure, never that high. But the head scan came out fine, lung scan came out fine. They did find something with my heart, saying that it's thicker than most hearts. They didn't use the term, enlarged, because they were worried that it was going to be enlarged. But they said it's thicker because that shows to them that I've been dealing with high blood pressure all my life, and that's a given. So they said that the heart was thicker, so it shows that it's been trying to overdo itself. So that was that. They did put me on a monitor, not this one. They had me on a bigger monitor that I had to wear throughout my stay. And my heart, one point, had tried to go out of rhythm.
AFib.
Yeah, a little bit of AFib going on. So, now I have a monitor on me for the next 30 days. Matter of fact, my first night home, that next morning, I already had someone call me because it's kind of weird. My little thing here, Amy calls it a doorbell, but it's connected to a phone, and it's constantly sending things back, and it lets you know, green if it's monitoring good, red if it isn't. I had 4 times that night that it went to red and wasn't monitoring right anymore. And so they called first thing in the morning, man, they're on it. But so we got another few doctor's appointments set up. I got one here in a couple days. I got one here in next month. The 2 tests I'm still waiting for is all my kidneys. They collected all my urine for 24 hours. And they run some tests off of that. And then they did an ultrasound on my kidneys as well. But they did some sort of other test that we're waiting on, and it's all on the kidneys. So I don't know if this is all related to my kidneys. Maybe they're not acting right, or maybe it's because the heart is thicker and it's trying to outwork itself. But no, so not afraid of Peyton. I'll take on Peyton anytime, as long as I can walk out this door and walk into the fairgrounds. I'll take him on. It's just that my body was shutting down. So
what are you going to do about Stephen E. saying you need to change your name from the Big Texan to the Big Chicken?
anytime he wants to come in the ring is more than welcome. Because I got my hands on him once before. You should realize, I think he was just saying all this stuff because I wasn't there. If I was there, it'd probably be changing his tune. Because the last time he was in the ring, I actually clocked him a couple times.
Was that cage match?
No. This was me and Peyton going against each other, and then towards the end, Attila came in and got me. This was prior to our tag. I think this is actually the show before our tag match, and that's the reason why I went and got a partner, whether it was the wrong partner, but that's what led up to it. But so truly, I'm actually just lucky to be alive, because I was so close to having a stroke, and if I would have waited like I wanted to for the morning for the next day, you never know. Might not have woke up the next day. So definitely glad I went. And even though we don't know why they did, like I said, they put me on like 4 different medications for the blood pressure, put me on a beta blocker for the heart. So this is probably a good thing. This will at least get Herb Simmons called it my 50,000 mile checkup. So again, got my stuff checked out. Just waiting on the test results to find out why, what happened, why it happened, and then you just got to move on. You got to turn things around, tune it a different way, and move. So,
I know all day, well, all night, Saturday, I kept trying to get Amy and Jordan to go home and take her to the hospital. Because I told her, tell me the symptoms without people knowing too much about me. She gave them to me, and I go, he's crossing all 8 of the top 10 symptoms for a mild heart attack. So you need to get him in.
Yeah, that's the first thing when she walked through the door, she goes, what do you think you had? And I looked at her, I said, well, I'm pretty sure I think I probably just had a heart attack. And that was our Saturday conversation before we went to the hospital. And I think the blood pressure is what actually made my eyes see clearly, oh, you better go. But yeah, so almost no Big Texan, but I'm still here, so Peyton better watch his back. I'm still looking for Attila behind him. Still looking for that old tag team partner that crossed my path. So I don't know how the show goes Saturday without me.
Well, I was going to say, if you just needed a 50,000 mile checkup, I used to check oil in wrestling all the time.
No.
It was his Andre move.
No, you don't need to check my oil. Matter of fact, they didn't even check my oil there, so.
Well, I can't speak for the whole show. I can tell you about my match. I had a match with Attila, and it was pretty good back and forth, just making him wrestle for once instead of being a wild man.
There you
go. And then the ref got knocked out, basically. Bill Hansen.
Okay.
He seems to get in the way a lot. But no, he got knocked down, and Attila took that opportunity to fork the daylight out of me. And then Danny Boy came in and basically took the fork away and made it null and void. And I hit Attila with the stunner and got the 1-2-3 on him.
Really?
Yep.
So you did it like a Stone Cold Stunner on him, huh?
Oh, yeah. As it was there, so I just took the opportunity.
Well, I have seen video clips of Peyton's match. So I seen that Gary, he was supposed to go against that Russian guy, and they was supposed to come in, but evidently he didn't show up or didn't come in, or something happens with his trans or something.
I say it was a transportation issue, I thought I heard.
So Gary didn't have a match, so Gary stepped up and took my spot. And, more props to Gary, and, good for Peyton, because Gary was, an SICW Classic champion before. So he's at that caliper. So he's a good
Full-time tag team champion.
Right.
Getting ready to go into the St. Louis Hall of Fame on May 14th.
Yeah.
Not 14th.
18th.
18th. I'm adding May 4th, our next show, into the 18th and just combining.
Right. There you go. But so I've seen that match, and it was a pretty good back and forth match. And there's even one part that I loved. Gary was getting the upper hand, and Peyton, slid out of the ring, and he was walking across, walking around the ring, and he was screaming, "I don't get it. Where the hell is Texan at?" Because I guess at the time he didn't even want any more of Gary. But Gary ended up getting the pin that night. So not too sure what's going to happen if I need to defend against Gary next time or if Peyton still gets one. But, I'm down either way. As long as I can step in the ring, I'll defend it all day long. And that's what I plan to do. Just as of right now, I'm still booked for our next show, the May 4th. I think, Bobby, you told me who I actually have. It's actually a tag team. Is it me and you, or is it me and Gary?
You and me.
Okay.
As long as you're medically cleared.
Right. And that's against.
So we got to make sure you're ready to go first before we jump back in.
Right. Yeah, and I get that. And I got my next doctor's appointment is in 2 days, Wednesday. So we'll see what he thinks. And then I got a heart doctor, cardiologist next month. Might be cutting close on the time frame here, but try to get it done before the show. But yeah, we're going against Steven Fender and Attila.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's two hard guys there. I mean, we both know how Steven Fender is and how Attila is, but Steven Fender is kind of on a roll. Yeah, I mean, Steven Fender's on a roll. He's got 2 belts right now. He's got your belt, the Central States, and then he's got the AIWF
national.
Yes, the national championship. Yeah, and I heard through our TV program, of course, because I wasn't there, but I watched it, and I'm pretty sure he's got Greg Anthony here in either next month or, well, I guess it's not next month, but
he's got him at Fan Fest.
He's got him at Fan Fest. So, and Greg Anthony is the world champion right now for the AIWF. So,
he's got Greg Anthony if he can hold on to the title until then.
Oh, that's true. But is there another show that he can lose the Central States title?
Not with us, but that AIWF title gets defended all over the place. Yeah, so I don't know what bookings he has other places.
Right.
So is the Steve and Anthony, if he can hold on to it, at our Fan Fest next month?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, so we might as well talk about Fan Fest. Shoot, it is next month. Can you believe it? It is next month.
Too fast.
Yeah, definitely went by too fast. But we got over 60 legends coming into town. Aviator Hotel. It's going to be a Friday and Saturday. The Friday being the one-man show.
Bill Apter.
Yeah, with Bill Apter. It's kind of like a comedy routine mixed in with a little trivia, is what I've been told. Be the first time that be able to see this. Bill's come to town before, but he wasn't doing that back then. But yeah, so that's Friday night. Then Saturday, we're going to do our Fan Fest with all the 60 legends. There's a nice little poster of the legends there, but people like Greg the Hammer Valentine and Greg Gagne and Haku. Speaking of Haku, did you see his son debut?
Yes.
My God. So there's one more son out there, and I heard that he's getting looked at to see about bringing him in. But his son is a big boy, and debuted on SmackDown with on the side of Solo. So we'll see what kind of big mean tag team that's going to be. But if you want to see his father, Haku is going to be there with us. So many legends are going to be there with us. Besides that, though, it's going to be the Hall of Fame. So people like Gary Jackson is going to be inducted. There's a special award that he's getting. Can't remember what it was. I think it's the Sam Mushnick Award he's actually getting. I might be wrong, but we're definitely giving him an award. Let's see here. Bob Orton Jr. is being actually inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I know most of his family is going to be there. I would hope to see if all of his family's there. That would be kind of nice. If we get like the likes of a Randy Orton, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, SICW, Mr. Herb Simmons, maybe he can make that happen. But
That'd be a
Bob has
tall
got, Bob's got another son who's a stand-up comedian. He's got a daughter, and I know they're both coming into town.
And his other son did amateur wrestling at SIUE.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, it'd be great to get the whole family, but you never know. WWE is a pretty big company, and they keep all their wrestlers pretty strict on certain things. But it would be nice.
And yet, Gary is getting the Sam Muchnick Award.
I thought it was, but I wasn't quite 100% sure. But yeah, there's so much stuff going on. Like the Fan Fest is going to be a few hours. Then everything gets changed up, rearranged, so we can have the Hall of Fame going. And then I know there's a couple people going into the Hall of Fame. And then after that, then we get rearranged again. And then SICW puts on one hell of a show. This is like our WrestleMania.
And if you're there at FanFest 1, we have the air conditioner issues worked out.
Definitely. But then we put on a show, and we got that Bruiser Brody, it's Bruiser Brody, Larry Matisick,
Tony Costa
battle memorial, and that's for the cup that's back there behind Bobby. Of course, he is a 2-time winner of that cup. Hopefully he can triple that and three-peat.
Continue that record.
I mean, hell, he already broke that record once, being a 2-time back-to-back. And then, yeah, man, if you can get that one more time, you're definitely in the history books. But then, then it's a wrestler of our show, and we always put on a great card that night because, like I said, it's our WrestleMania. Speaking of WrestleMania, any of you guys watch that?
No.
I watched Sunday nights. I only saw bits and pieces Saturday because we had a show. But I did watch Sundays.
Well, even though I was in the hospital, it left me a lot of time being bored. So I watched it on my phone, and it was almost how I predicted it was going to go down. So fans, if you guys watched the previous, I think it's not the previous last one, but it was the one before that we kind of gave our prophecies. It was right on the money. I knew Roman and The Rock was going to win that match to make it the Bloodline rules. Otherwise, why even say it? And then I knew it was going to be some interference with The Rock. The only thing I had wrong on that match was I thought The Rock was going to turn against Roman, and I was wrong. He stayed on the same side. And but yeah, so that whole Undertaker thing, everyone thought it was going to be Stone Cold, because the TV trailer for I think it was that Raw or that SmackDown when Rock went out and beat the hell out of Cody, there was a Stone Cold on the trailer, and there was someone else.
Stone Cold and John Cena.
And John
Half
Cena.
of that trailer was correct.
Yeah.
So maybe we as fans read too much into the trailer. Like the hint was already there. We just took it too far.
No, actually, so behind the scenes part, it was supposed to be Stone Cold. Evidently, Stone Cold asked for a little bit more money, and they refused to do it, so he stayed home. Because some other news sources have already broke that, saying that it was supposed to be Stone Cold and not The Undertaker. So John Cena, Stone Cold. But I've also watched plenty of videos of, they don't just have WrestleMania on Saturday and Sunday. They do a whole week's worth of promotion in the town that they're having it. And they have this thing called WWE World, which is basically they rent this building, you go in, and it's like a museum for WWE. And they also have everything you can imagine you can buy that's related to the WWE. Well, they had shirts already printed to sell, and they still sold them, but it was 316 Philadelphia, and it said that on the shirt. So
but at the same time with that, if you go to Raw or something when it's in town, they still sell Stone Cold shirts in St. Louis, and he hasn't been here in years.
Yeah, but it doesn't say St. Louis. They still sell Stone Cold shirts.
I thought they did say St. Louis, the red ones.
I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but all the evidence is showing that it was supposed to be Stone Cold in that match. You know, because The Rock is the one that retired Stone Cold, so it was going to be good for him to come out and kind of throw fisticuffs with The Rock one more time. Yeah, so I had it almost all right, except for I swore The Rock was going to turn on Roman, so The Rock and Roman exchange could happen, you know.
I say the only problem with that is I did read that The Rock had to, and he even said it, I guess too, that he had to go film a movie, so he doesn't have time for another feud right now.
Yeah, but he said it's coming. You know, it doesn't take too long to film a movie nowadays, so you figure, most of the time you can get it done in 30 days now. It's kind of crazy. So if it has any special effects or anything like that, maybe give it 2 months, 3 months tops, and he's going to be back.
Depending on the movie, 60 to 90-day principle.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not going to be too long. It's actually going to fly by really damn quick. I mean, hell, our May show is next month, and we've been, granted, we've been pushing it for a while and promoting it and everything, but it just seems like it, came up. But yeah, so all my predictions for WrestleMania pretty much came true, except for that. I thought that was going to be a great way for them to, take Rock and Roman and run the feud that they wanted before the fans turned on them and got behind Cody and demanded that Cody finish his story. But pretty cool. It was nice seeing the Undertaker in there. He had a few bad matches before he left, and he did this one match with AJ Styles where it was like a movie. Basically set up. It wasn't live or anything like that, but it was yeah. I mean, they filmed it like it was a movie. That graveyard match, I think, is what they called it.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was different, but back then that was also through the whole COVID stuff. So we weren't really getting, fans' participation in matches and stuff like that. So having like a little movie vigilette type of match, that was all right. Kind of weird, and I don't think they've done it since, but and that's how the Undertaker went out. So it was nice to have him pop back in for just a nice little choke slam here and there. That'd be kind of cool. And like I said, the last time we all got together, I told you the Undertaker goes around wherever WWE goes, he goes. Because
I thought he was going to show up because he did book a last minute show like 2 weeks before WrestleMania in Philly.
Yeah.
For his one-man show.
Right. But so his manager and everything is still the WWE. It's not like he went outside of WWE to start this one-man show. Because what was this? It was when I went to the one-man show, there's 2 WWE high executives that were there, and they're the ones to open the show, basically saying, bringing you the Undertaker live tonight, and then he thanked them at the end of the show, and they came out too. But so it's definitely ran by the WWE, his little one-man show. So wherever WWE is going, expect the Undertaker to be the day before, or the day after, or something like that. And it's a good way for him to get for everyone to get ready for wrestling. You know, you go out and listen to the Undertaker talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours, kind of get you all pumped up because his stories are pretty funny. Let's see
better
here.
be for 2 hours.
Oh, and it's a lot of money too. I mean, the meet and greets with the Undertaker. I mean, it was going for crazy amount of money. And I was fine not doing that. You know, let me sit down, have a few drinks, and listen to some stories. I mean, that's the best thing. And I didn't have to pay that $high fee. But yeah, man. Let's see. There's a wrestling, what's it, WrestleCon that was going on at the same time as WrestleMania thing. So they had a lot of wrestlers in Philadelphia. You know, they had everyone from AEW and NWA and TNA, and then all smack into one fucking city. So, you know, Philadelphia or Philly is already announced that they're gonna try to get another one soon, because you got to put it in for, you know, so many years prior. You know, Philly was already I think they said it was 3 years ago they set this one up. So you figured they're at least 3 years ahead as they're booking this stuff.
Okay, I
Not
was
really
pretty
the
sure you could get on
wrestling,
the
but the
website,
show.
and I was pretty sure you could get on WWE's website and look at like the next 2 WrestleMania locations.
Yeah, so I mean it's kind of crazy, and man, from what I heard from everyone that went, it was a great freaking time, and like the whole city was just wrestling, you know, and
I don't understand why Jason Kelsey didn't get arrested. Any other fan, like if I jump that barrier and get involved in the match, I get arrested. Why didn't he?
because it was in Philly and he was a Philadelphian. You know,
I'm just saying.
he was in the
He
Eagles.
bought a ticket. He sat there. He jumped the rail. He should be arrested.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they were plants by Rey because they were wearing Rey Mysterio's mask. You know, so
I could
you
see
never
that,
know.
him being a little cheater like that. Just like scooping back.
Hey, I'm sure if WrestleMania was in Dallas, there would be some cowboys jumping the ropes and going into
Well,
the ring.
that would be fine.
Oh, okay.
It's the Eagle connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
The Eagles that spoil things for my Cowboys.
Didn't Dallas beat them last year?
One of the 2 times.
So, a couple things. You know, Jim Ross was interviewed the other day, and he said he loves the way the attitude has kind of changed since Vince McMahon had basically got pushed out. And all through WrestleMania, they kept announcing that this is the first
Paul Levesque.
WrestleMania ran by Triple H. You know, Paul Levesque. You know, this is his show. This is his baby running forward. You know, it quite hasn't been PG here lately the last few weeks. With everyone cussing and everything on the show, and so they started using words that Vince McMahon had banned. You know, there was a list of words that you couldn't say as a wrestler working for McMahon. You know, one of them was belts. You couldn't say you want a belt. You want a championship. You know, and the other thing is you're not a pro wrestler. You're a sports entertainer. And at the last couple of shows, they were saying pro wrestling. We're pro wrestlers. You know, so we're kind of going back to, you know, what they were. You know, Vince McMahon is the one that broke out and announced that this is sports entertainment. You know, so he didn't have to pay the fees of the different states that made pro wrestlers and boxers pay. And you know, being this Triple H ran one, they are now pro wrestlers again. So it's kind of interesting to see moving forward how they're going to label this particular era. You know,
It'll
it's
be
not quite
interesting
the
to see
Attitude
if it goes
Era.
back.
Yeah.
Now, I'm all for like 100%. Like it's got me watching a little bit more again for more of an Attitude Era style, like they're going. But from what I read from Dave Meltzer, is they keep announcing the Paul Levesque era over and over and over. to distance themselves from Vince McMahon with all his lawsuits.
And it could be, I'm sure it's a both. The distance from Vince McMahon, and they're also doing things that Vince McMahon wouldn't allow. So,
But Stephanie's back.
yeah, she did appear both nights.
She's named in the lawsuits, so you can't really distance too far.
Right, but she's also married to Triple H, so it's kind of a yin yang type of situation. But even she, when she was in the ring, she announced again, it's Paul Levesque's, business basically. So even she kind of put the stamp on Paul and didn't mention her dad at all.
Yeah,
and she's still looking good at her advanced age.
Plastics.
Well, if you got the
Latex
money,
does wonder.
if you got the money, anything can happen.
Yeah.
But how did you
with-
like Paul's Hall of Fame speech?
Heyman?
Yeah, Paul Heyman's. Did you watch it?
I watch highlights from it.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, you gotta watch the whole thing.
He don't give no crap.
Oh, the
He'll
gloves
say
were
do what he
off.
wants.
Gloves were off, and I don't know
Like
why they had him open
he wasn't.
the show.
Nobody was supposed to mention Lesnar's name. He yelled it. He did not care.
He even said Vince McMahon at one point, and no one's supposed to mention that name. But being ECW, home of Philadelphia, I understood why they put him in there, but why did they have him open the show? That was crazy because he killed it. He was the best one that night. And I know it was mainly because The Rock is. I think every member of The Rock's family is in the Hall of Fame now. I don't think he can ask for anything more because, before he retired, he was able to put his dad in, and now he put his dad in and High Chief Maivia in, and now the whole family, his grandmother is in. And I know it was probably that they were thinking, oh, this is going to help our storyline. We're going to induct more of the bloodline into the Hall of Fame, but it just fell short. They should have had Paul Lee, be the headliner and close the show, because that shit was on fire.
I felt like when you always got that moment where they bring all the inductees on the stage. I thought it was kind of lackluster. Like they needed another wrestling star. And they were in Philly. They could have added another ECW guy.
Well, easily. They could have done, Paul. They could have done. Al Snow was there. What was the right hand man? I put a post out on it a couple of days
Tommy
ago.
Dreamer.
Yeah, Tommy Dreamer was there. RVD was mentioned a lot in Paul's induction speech.
Yeah, you got four guys that there's a couple guys I guess I think synonymous with ECW. You got Dreamer, Van Dam, Sandman, and Sabu.
I would throw Raven in there too because he was a champion a lot of times. I don't know what his rate was, but I know he was a multiple champion.
He also left a little earlier for WCW. Like those are the guys that I think if I'm going to picture ECW, one of those guys pop up first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Raven and his psychology and the dude's a real life genius. He's a member of Mensa. Smart guy. Psychology and everything. He was trained by Jake the Snake.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. The other ones kind of fell a little short. Fell short, I'm saying. And they even Muhammad Ali's widow gave The Rock a belt, and it was due to the fact that The Rock, when he first came out and started saying that he was the people's champion, that was something that Muhammad Ali used to say, and he asked for the blessing to start saying that. And so now she gave him a belt saying that he's the people's champion. I don't know. The whole thing was weird. He came out for that, accepted the belt, and then came back out to do the speech on his on his grandma. But they didn't announce. I mean, they announced him, and he came out through the audience to get the belt. But you know, he
Just
went
because with the
backstage.
people.
Well, he went backstage, and then because right after he got the belt, he was right back out, and then they did the whole music popping and the video and all that stuff to get him to come back out. Why? He could have just stayed out there and rolled right into honoring his grandmother.
Well, I've heard from and read different things from security guards and whatnot, and the man has a huge ego.
Oh well, yeah.
To where he's not always nice to fans when cameras aren't around.
I heard that too. But I don't know because I've never met the man. He's one that I have not met. Met his dad a few times before he passed.
No, he was a nice guy.
He was a great guy. He invited a bunch of us down to FTW before it switched to NXT. And that was kind of cool, just being offered that,
Yeah.
Of course, we all know that a tag team partner of mine at that time accepted that offer, and now he is sitting in jail for the rest of his life because he went down there. Went down there, knocked some girl up, got her pregnant, and he already had a girlfriend or a wife up here, and she threatened to tell, and so he snapped and fucking killed her. So now he's spending the rest of his life in jail. It's kind of crazy. Kind of glad I didn't go.
Not the way you want to end a relationship.
No. But man, and it's so it was so weird too because up here, me and him went to the drive-in movie theater, and socialized like we were best friends. Up here, he would give you his shirt off his back. He was and he was taller than me. I had to look up to him, and he was, he out of our group at that point in time, you knew he was going to make it. He had the look, and he had the movesets down. He just had everything that they were looking for, and that's why he was on his way. But then I guess he thought with his wrong head, and that got him in trouble, and then he just fucking snapped. But nicest guy in the world. I'm so shocked that ever happened. But yeah, so he spent the rest of his life in jail. And I'm kind of glad I didn't go down there.
You could have gone down there and not done that.
What?
I said you could have gone down there and not done that.
Right.
Like, I agree. I know exactly who you're talking about. And he always had that persona of a friendly guy, but there's something definitely wrong up there.
Yeah. But man, kind of was thrown off subject. But yeah, Jim Ross was the one that was being interviewed and was talking about how he likes the direction that WWE is going. And I do too. Hopefully the whole PG era gets thrown to the side and we start getting a little bit more adult oriented with everything. See you bringing that up. So that's the next card, huh?
You're pulling that poster up. I'm excited for that one. Because every TV taping, I go out there, I got to hear that man in the middle in that suit right there talk a bunch of trash on the guy from Belleville and how he steals this and steals that. I can't wait. Like, I'm really rooting for Joe Helms to win that match and get 5 minutes with Lucky.
Lucky won't deliver.
Like, I will be living vicariously through Joe that one, glued to the TV.
Well, I don't know what's worse, listening to him, talk about our matches, or at least on the TV show that I watched this Sunday, Vincent was in commentating. I don't know which one is worse, having Sean Vincent, the Canadian Zero, or him. So it's kind of interesting on that development.
I put them both on mute.
Could get Sean Vincent for a while longer too.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen there.
Well, the rumor mill is he screwed up his knee pretty bad, and he's going to be out for the next 6 months to a year.
Yeah, but what's he going to do in that time is more of my Is he going to take more of a managerial role behind Glenn Williams? Is he going to step back and just focus on healing? Is he going to get behind the commentator's table? Like, what is he going to do?
I
Right.
can tell you one thing he won't do is the media side.
Why is that? I mean, he's already doing commentating, and we tape with normally 3 or 4 shows on the same day. So that means he's probably commentating on 3 or 4 shows in the next couple of weeks.
I'm talking about our media side.
Oh, well, yeah, we would never let that happen. But who's the people underneath Joe Helms and
That
Kowalski?
is the Top Guns, and they are going against the LA Hustlers for their rematch clause.
So that's going to be interesting too.
Lucky's teams are just dominating this poster this month.
Right. And it's all because I might not be there. Otherwise I would be on the poster. So
So they put another big ball guy in there.
Man, so I know both of them have been both tag teams have actually been wrestling down in Memphis. I think they crossed paths down there too. I don't not for the SICW titles, but there's of course titles down there that I think LA Hustlers are either holding right now or going in for a tournament to win those belts. So it's kind of interesting that, and this was like how it was for me, Attila too. Wherever he would go, I would try to follow him, or wherever I would go, he would try to follow me through other promotions in other states. So I don't know if the Top Guns are fired up and trying to get them wherever they're going, and try to retire them, because that's what I would do, or what. But so it's kind of cool to see that they're coming back. Hands down, I have faith in the Top Guns that they're going to retain. They've worked them so many times. I think they're used to the tricks that LA Hustlers pull, and their little manager, Lucky P, they're used to what the stuff he used to pull with the briefcase and everything. So, I think they got this one in the bag.
There's another big difference. The LA Hustlers no longer have the champion's advantage. So if they get counted out and whatnot this time, they don't retain the titles, because they don't have the titles.
That's true. One thing I just remembered, the professionals are back, and they are tied to Lucky P. Larson. So, not only do they got to watch out for Lucky P. Larson, they also got to worry about the professionals. And that's a tried and true tag team there. So that'll be kind of interesting to see if they put their noses into it and try to get in line for a title shot, regardless if the LA Hustlers win or lose.
Technically sound team that also isn't afraid to brawl either.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be a nice show. My goal is to definitely get healthier, get strong. I talked to a few people that after this episode that I had happen, like my strength and my endurance and being able to do stuff has kind of gone down. But I guess it's mainly it's attack to the system, so the system's got to recalibrate and get back up and running. But I was just trying to do things around the house, and I get tired really easy. But they also said that one of those blood pressure pills that they're giving me is going to have that effect. So they might have to change that or adjust that around. So
it's going to be a continual adjustment.
Yeah, because originally, I was on 2 pills, just normal pills, nothing big, and I'm not even taking the same things anymore. They totally took that off the floor, and I'm taking all new different fucking kinds of shit. So
I have a procedure question for Herb's promotion. What's the rules he has set down for before you have to vacate your title?
Well, I mean, if I'm not medically cleared to come back, then I would probably have to vacate it. But
a certain amount of times, or just once, or
Well, I mean, that's the first day that it happened. Shit happens. So I'm not gonna have to vacate it right now. And since we got a couple weeks, before the next show, I'm sure that's gonna be my holding time to see if I can get medically cleared. So and plus, even that next month, if I do come back, which I'm guaranteeing you that I will, it's a tag match. So my belt's not even on the line. So you figure I at least got a month and a half. Well, no, because May 18th, I got a route. So I have until May 18th, I would think. If I can't defend the belt that night, you'll probably see me, hand it over that night. But
But then that
And if
sucks
you
even
want,
more because on the 17th, everybody's supposed to drink and have fun. You can't,
no,
at least drink.
he can
and
drink water, and I will drink anything. But if you need, Jim, I will keep that belt warm.
well,
Just,
okay.
just gonna throw that out there for you.
That's one of the
It'll,
things that the
it
doctors
would look
ask.
real nice with my trophy here. Just saying.
And he'll just wear it to keep up his pants. Not a problem.
Yeah.
But that's a couple of things that the doctors, I had a couple of doctors come in and out, and they would ask me, are you a heavy drinker? Are you a steroid user? Do you use cocaine? And I'm thinking, no, I'm not either one of those. I said, normally I drink the nights that I wrestle afterwards. And every now and then on a Monday night when we do this podcast, I'll open a beer or two. Not this time. But,
Yeah, I don't drink either.
those are my only two nights that I drink. I don't drink throughout the week, or if I'm off wrestling that week, I don't drink that weekend. And of course, I've never used cocaine, and I've never used steroids. I even looked at the doctor. I said, "Does this body tell you that I use steroids?"
Or cocaine.
Or cocaine, yeah.
Yeah, or cocaine. But again, it's just because they have no clue on why my body reacted that way to whatever is happening. But one other thing
Man,
else.
so
Go ahead.
you're not even allowed to grill a steak and pop a beer with it?
I should probably wait. Wait
We're
until
getting
I
that
get
nice
cleared.
spring weather, get that grill going, get that nice steak and a cold beer.
You know
I
what
know
really
it.
sucks? Is if we heard back from Jack Daniels about them willing to sponsor us with Gentleman Jack and you won't be able to drink it.
Ooh, no, I'll
I'll
still
bite
sip
the
that.
bullet, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to give it to Bobby.
No, I'll still sip that. You don't have to drink a whole lot of it. Just sip it and enjoy it. Hey, I want to talk about this new wrestling show that's on TV. It's WWE's wrestling show. They announced it WrestleMania week. If you guys have Roku, it's a Roku channel. It's free, but it's WWE's next. Oh no, it's WWE's Generation Next is what it's called. So you don't have to, have Hulu or any of the other chain things to watch this off of Disney or what are they coming to, Netflix? So if you got a Roku TV, I got one in the house, so it's kind of easy for me. But Generation Next, I think they started out with 150 people, guys, girls, and I'm loving it because it's going through the progress of getting them to see if they will be awarded a contract or not. They haven't announced if they're going to award a girl and a guy or even how many. And I'm not even done watching it. And they threw out the whole series out there, so you can watch the whole thing. I think I'm like in episode 3 or 4. But I tell my students, and I show my students all the time of different stuff that you got to do to warm up your body and how to properly take the bumps. And this shows it, and it shows it to a T. It's like, I don't know, maybe I watched the right video before, and I took that and made the students do it. But they're doing the same thing in this TV show that we're having the A students do. Of course, it's a little bit more modified because they're doing it all day. They start at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're living in a hotel that's attached to the. They're not at NXT, which is down in Florida. I think this time they're actually in California, and they're tied to a football stadium because they're doing everything in the football arena. And they got 4 rings going. Like I said, it's a lot of people, and they haven't dwindled them down just yet. I think they cut a couple that couldn't maintain or hang out doing the running and doing all the cardio stuff. But so far, I'm loving it. And like I said, it's free to watch if you got a Roku TV. You can also hit up some SICW shows because we still have old shows on Roku TV as well. So you can rock out with some wrestling. I really enjoy it just because it's breaking everything down for you, and it's telling you that it's kind of weird too because most of the time, like if you did what was their thing on MTV to get people become wrestlers?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. I stopped watching MTV when they stopped doing music.
Man, they had a show that they would take 15, 20 people. Tough Enough. I can't believe I can't remember or couldn't remember that. But and then Tough Enough, and they took people from wide range. There was models, there was strippers, there was school teachers and everything. This time it seems like all the people that's going out for this tryout are all people that were either college football stars or track and field stars. I mean, they're athletes already, and they're just trying to see who can actually convert and become a wrestler.
Yeah, but being a wrestling athlete is a lot different than a football athlete.
Right,
The bumps are
but
a lot different.
like I said, like one of the last Tough Enough ones, they were all the girls were all models. At least this time, they're not models. They're, like I said, track and field stars or high jump stars, or they are all athletic, and that's what I like about it too.
But like Alexa Bliss came from sports modeling, and I think she did pretty well in learning the craft.
Yeah, and there's been a handful of girls that have came from modeling that's made it, but there's been a lot that haven't. But it's kind of cool to see that they're actually, like I said, this time they're focused on people that's already athletic and pretty high in their fields, and they're trying to convert them over.
Didn't Stacy Keibler come from that program, or did she just come straight from modeling?
She came from cheerleading. Matter of fact, I think she was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. Pretty sure she was a Cowboy. I do know she was a cheerleader for a football team, and then she just tried out to be, because WCW didn't have girl wrestlers. I mean, they had girl wrestlers, but that's not where Stacy came from. They had like a dance, a group of dancers that would dance between.
I think you're thinking about Layla. Stacy Keibler is from WCW time.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Where she came from.
But
she was a cheerleader for the Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens. But the dance competition, I thought that was Layla, and she was from a basketball team.
No, he was just asking where she came from before she was a wrestler. She was a cheerleader, and that prompted her to go into this dance competition for the Nitro Girls. And there was like a group of 10. I'm thinking it was probably a group of 6, and they evolved into a group of 10 or something like that.
Yeah, because it says here on that show, Stacy was known for doing table dances. The Nitro Girls.
She had them ladies all the way to her ass.
Anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out there because I missed my 2 wrestling shows that were normally on. The Wrestlers from Netflix, which revolved around OVW, and then Heels was a great wrestling show that got canceled as well. So it's something new and it's kind of cool. And anyone who wants to become a wrestler, you know, a lot of people that you know, a lot of the candidates right now too, you'll see them talking about how they should have. They knew they were doing this, so they should have went and found a school to kind of get an edge. You know, learn a little bit before they went out there. And right now, they're not doing a whole lot worth of moves. You know, they're just learning how to run the ropes, learning how to take the bumps, sorry, the rolls, the back rolls. Besides doing all the cardio and stuff, you know, so they haven't really got into learning a whole bunch of moves yet. So, but like I said, just take a chance on it. It's pretty cool. I like it. And there's one or two drills that I've seen them do that I'm going to pull and take it to the Ace Academy too. So, I mean, kind of cool. So besides throwing out the two May shows that we got coming up, don't forget we got the big race show that's coming up in 2 months in June. You know, we're going to be.
And they were selling tickets at our last show. I believe they're going to be at the May show as well.
Yeah, they're. I know.
Yeah, and for anybody who wants it, I mean, they come to buy them from SICW or the website because they're a lot cheaper than if you go to the door.
Right. So yeah, that's in June. I think what is it? The 21st.
June 1st. Melee
June
on the
1st?
Melee.
All right. So yes, that is definitely a cool show. One of its first of its kinds. You know, so you're gonna have some.
You want to slide that picture a little bit to the left more. A little bit more.
Oh, you have Glenn with you.
Hey, go ahead and cut that part. Yeah, right there. That's good. That's good.
All right, there we go.
So that's definitely gonna be a one of a kind show. You know, you're gonna have some racing, then you're gonna have some wrestling, and then some more racing, and then some more wrestling, and then you're gonna have ludicrous, and you know it's just gonna be a crazy night.
And Adam Wainwright and his country band.
Yeah. So if you buy the tickets, you know, if you come to one of our shows and buy the tickets for that, besides Nate saying it's a lot cheaper, you can go for the wrestling and stay for the concert. So, you know, it's not one of those things that's.
Just to give people an idea, I did buy my ticket before our show, at our show. So these seats might even be sold out. But I think after the fees, I paid $31 or $32 for my wife.
Yeah, so I mean, it's.
I was gonna say, why did you have to buy a ticket?
It was for the wife. I'm gonna wrestle.
You know, the wrestling ring is going to be on the grass, but you can still see from the stands. So when you buy the wrestling tickets, you can actually be on the grass in the seats around the ring. But you can still, you know, if you're just there for the racing, you can still sit up in the grandstands and watch. You still have great views. Plus, they're going to be running wrestling at the chase matches throughout the day on the big screens. You know, probably not when the actual race is going on, but you know the trials that you go through in the beginning. You know, they're going to be broadcasting wrestling at the Chase Wrestling, which is going to be cool because it's just going to wrap it all up with wrestling.
And another thing, Nate from An Executive Worldwide Tech did state that if you purchase a ticket and come on Saturday, the next day's ticket's only $50 if you get it ahead of time and you're coming for the wrestling.
And if I remember correctly, there's that Sunday show. There's going to be a lot more concerts after that too. Like the Dixie Chicks are supposed to be there on Sunday. Yeah, there's just going to be, you know, the Raceway. They try. This is their like WrestleMania. You know, I keep saying it's all like WrestleMania, but they try to do everything 24/7 Friday, 24/7 Saturday, 24/7 Sunday. You know, they want to keep everyone that shows up there. In order to do that, you got to have stuff for them to do. So there's a lot of stuff outside in the parking lot they're going to have. A lot of you know, when you first walk in, They have that whole section of places that you can buy things from, but there's going to be stuff for the kids to do. They really try to keep it like a family-oriented, interactive weekend. You're more than welcome to bring your RVs and camp there, or stay in the RV, or they really want to try to keep everyone there. So this is a way that they're doing it. They're bringing in some wrestling, they're bringing in some concerts, they're bringing in plus the racing itself. So it's kind of cool. And if this goes great, NASCAR's going to hit them up. I think it's 3 or 4 more times this year. And if it goes great, we will be tagged along with them. So it's going to be a nice little connection there. Rock and roll, racing and wrestling. It's like going to be back in the 80s all over again.
So what we need
Calling
is,
all of our fans, buy a ticket.
yeah, we need 40,000 people there. That's what it can take. So we need to get it all.
And that's about how many fans we have. So,
we didn't even talk about this. It's going to be broadcasted on ESPN.
Yep.
So it's going to be great for wrestling to go back on ESPN again. I think we talked about that, how the AWA used to be broadcasted on ESPN all the time. And that's what helped keep them afloat for a while. When Vince was trying to take them all down. So it's going to be great to see some wrestling back on the cable on sports channel.
It's going to be great to see SICW back on ESPN.
Yeah, so it's these next couple months, it's going to be great for SICW, great for wrestling. We got the Mac show coming up, which I kind of know who the guest is that they're trying to bring. Now, that is a private show, but it's a beautiful show because it's in a ballroom at the athletic club in St. Louis. And this is an old building, so you got that old money feel, and it's so classy.
All the Cuban cigar smoke stuck in the walls.
Right. And me and Bobby are pretty popular, so we get some free stuff every time we go there. And it's a great show. And Harper's got us pretty packed. The last 6 months of the year. Going out to Sandoval, going out to Waterloo, Illinois. Of course, there's the CAC in Vegas. There's the Iowa Hall of Fame out in Iowa. It's actually Waterloo, Iowa. But
going to Breeze for the first time.
Huh?
Going to Breeze for the first time.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're definitely going to be booked. The last 6 months is going to be kind of crazy. And we're going to start it off with our May Fest. So it's going to be great. But
okay, now let's briefly get into the charity side of SICW.
Yeah, and so most of these extra shows that we do, it's for some sort of charitable organization, like Sandoval. That show is for Sandoval and their school system. So everything that we raise money for goes back to the schools, whether if they need uniforms or if they need lunches when they go on to different trips for them to even go on trips. Because I heard that Sandoval is such a little school that they kind of get left out of a lot of things that a lot of schools get to do. So anything that they try to do upon themselves, that's money coming out of their small little district. We got the Little Devils that we're going back to, and that's to help the local wrestlers and the football players, the kids. It's going to help them with their equipment.
To speak a little bit on the kind of behind the scenes part of that. So, like the Devil Show, because I've been helping host this one for 3 years now, we pay SICW a certain fee that covers wrestlers' pay, insurance, and ring. And then everything else, so like the Devils will run the door, the concessions, all of that goes to the Devils. And like you said, that will go to uniforms and building maintenance and power bill, water bill, all that stuff that people don't think. insurance on the Little League football is outrageous. We had one claim last year, and our insurance dropped us because of that after they paid it.
Wow.
One claim.
We're currently getting a new one right now.
It's the whole point. And then
Yeah.
they drop because, oh my God, we got to pay.
We had like one claim in like 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
Now, just for kids,
But
what's
anyway,
that one
so
about?
that's what all that is. So like, then it is all fundraisers for whatever organization is buying that show. A lot of times we call it these bought shows. It is, to help out these different organizations and whatever their needs are that they want to put it towards.
Yeah, the Waterloo, Illinois show is another fundraiser. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you who it's for, but I do know that they're actually going to be in a parade, and they're having some of us hop on their float that they're making, and it's going to be a wrestling themed float in this parade. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to send me that date again. I kind of forgot that one already.
yeah, I'll have to send it to you. It's actually written down in my book, which is at work. And I plan to, hopefully, if everything goes right, after this doctor visit on Wednesday, I'll be heading back that way and start that back up. So I'll get it to you after that. But yeah,
Yep,
so
that's that breeze one, the pause.
yeah, so that one, we got our good friend Cowboy Orton Jr. going to there. So even if it is a benefit or to help a student, out, we can still bring the legends in and try to draw you some more money. So if you ever want to help out, or if you have an organization that wants to have us, reach out to Herb Simmons on Facebook, or SICW.org is a good way to reach everyone. Or if you need information about what other places we're going this year, or if you still need to get your FanFest tickets, go to SICW.org. If you haven't got a hotel yet, they got the link that you can click on our website, and then it'll go over to the Aviator Hotel and get you that little discount. Going through the wrestling, SICW.org. It's a little bit of a discount for you on the hotel rooms. But yeah, crazy.
One quick other thing, since we still have it on the screen too, with that fundraiser, like if anybody wants to reach out to our podcast through me or to me through the podcast, I'll be happy to talk about all that, because as someone that again has used it for 3-4 years now, it has been a big help and help you walk through any of that process or any questions you have.
Yeah, just hit Bobby D up or send message through us, and we'll get you to Bobby D or Jim or whoever we need to.
Yep. Let's see here. Other things, I think we're pretty much going to wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, I want to thank some of the subscribers that subscribed. We've had an influx of subscribers. We still haven't reached a 500 member yet, but so if you like the stuff we're talking about, so if you want to come watch some SICW shows, you want some background about the people or the show, or even wrestling at the Chase matches, subscribe to our account, like, comment, and definitely share, because we love to get the word out. We love to be more than just a local regional podcast. That's why we're bringing in, watching the movies and reviewing them, and probably head out when some of the wrestlers go back to mid-states, head down there and get some interviews with some of those, and definitely the legends that's coming into town on the Mayfest show. And of course Nate's going to be there, right? With it all. And anytime you want to, be interviewed, he can do it right there on the spot if he's got time. Ask us a few questions or something. But yes, definitely. I just want to say thank you. Just because we are climbing. We just need a little bit more of a push. So if you guys can help push us over to that next plateau that we need to break, that would be awesome.
Yeah, hunting for 1 million.
I think WWE would come knocking if we got 1 million So do that. We want to get, we've tried to get into WWE and AEW, but they're saying that we're not big enough yet. So if you guys can help us out, if we get some more subscribers and some more people behind us, that will open that door for us so we can actually go there and get the press viewing of the show, because there's a special seating for the press, and where we're allowed to take pictures and not really video, but interview some of the wrestlers. And that's a good way for us to get them on our podcast and let you guys, get the behind the scenes. But we just need your help to do that. So if you guys can, again, like, comment, subscribe. Subscribing is the big one. I think with all the podcasts that we got under our belt, it's only 61. We do have the hours that we need. We just need some subscribers. So if you guys can help us out, Eagle Call, please, send it out to your friends. I talk to my brother almost every day, except for today, since I've been in the hospital. And even my brother, I told him, I said, hey, trying to really push this podcast if you can help us out. And so he said he would subscribe and send it to his buddies. So, even the ones that are close to us might not, they know that we do it, but they don't know how they can help us. So just because you guys watch it, your friends might love to watch it too, but you got to let them know about it. So if you can share it, through Facebook or any of the other Instagrams, we're on all of them except for TikTok, but we might get there too. So you never know.
Not through me.
Yeah, but all right, I think we dragged you guys through the mud enough for tonight.
Wait, I have one question for Bobby real quick. Did you remember to talk to your paranormal friend?
Nate, I know your question. Does the carpet match the drapes?
Are you a rooster on both ends?
You gotta subscribe for that.
There you go.
Just go to our Patreon; it'll be there.
That's
no
premium
pictures.
content.
All right, Nate. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did you contact your paranormal show friend yet to have the big wrestlers go through that haunted graveyard in St. Louis?
I talked to him about work-related stuff today. I did not talk to him about that.
We need to get that as soon as Jim's heart's strong enough.
Well, yeah, you don't want him getting scared right now. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
No, I had a busy weekend over at Adidas Nationals this weekend.
That is true. He's got 3 boys, and they're all doing something different. So you got pulling from all 3 ways.
This one was just the oldest.
Okay.
The Adidas Nationals out there in Kansas City, Missouri, and last year he took 5th at it. This year he took 3rd, and it was a long, long weekend. But proud of him. He did a great job out there.
That's awesome.
He had kids from Oklahoma, Kansas, New Orleans, Washington, D.C., of course, Missouri. It was in Missouri. People from all over the country that, he beat.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Tell him we're proud of him.
Junior.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So for everyone at the Squared Ring Podcast, just want to say thank you again. And we took enough of your time. So you guys have a good night. And I'll see you guys next Monday.
All right. See you
All
guys.
right. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.